Calaroga Shark Media.
Man, you know who can keep a secret is Andrew Santino. Hi, I'm Johnny Mac with your daily comedy news. Santino has revealed that Travis Kelce told him months in advance that Travis was going to propose to Taylor Swift. Boy, he can keep a secret, huh? Santino told Pardon My Take, we had golf together in like April or May, and yeah, he said he was doing it, but he didn't say when. But I don't pry. We didn't talk about it. He brought something up about it, and then I never asked again. That's just how dudes are, though. Like, hey, yeah, I might ask Taylor to get married. Oh, that's cool. And then you go back to talking about the Jets or something. Santino said he contacted Travis and Taylor to congratulate them on the engagement, although it happened, quote, much earlier. Santino said, we just FaceTimed them to say congrats. Santino does not think he'll be invited to the wedding because Taylor has the final say on who attends. Santino said, I doubt it. I don't think I got that invite. You know she's controlling that guest list. I'm not on that list. Travis is my boy. I love him to death, but I highly doubt it. Look, I'll say this. I played with my old man golf 2 days ago, and we FaceTimed Travis to say congrats. Maybe I'll catch a bachelor party invite. You could do bachelor, not wedding. In fact, I'd prefer it. I'd rather do bachelor, no wedding. I don't want to do weddings in general anymore. So if you can, give me the bachelor party without the wedding. Saw this one over the weekend, but we had to talk about the Emmys there for a couple days. The worst person who ever lived, Jay Leno, talked about being the caretaker of his wife Mavis with advanced dementia. Jay Leno, who once had the nerve to comment on late-night TV, said, my wife's got some problems, so it's just her and I. But it's always been her and I for the last 45 years anyway, so it's fine. I enjoy taking care of her. It's fun. I mean, I do enjoy it. People think, oh, it must be horrible. No, because she's not in any pain. She's not suffering. It's not like tumor or cancer. It's just a confusion that comes with Alzheimer's and dementia, and that's okay. I enjoy being her rock. Makes you feel wanted. You've got a purpose now, so it's good. He shared a story that Mavis and Jay were recently watching an old Hawaii Five-0 from the 60s. Jay explained, we watched the episode where Stanley Halloway plays a genetic scientist who gets kidnapped. So McGarrett goes to see his daughter, who's like 40, and says, what kind of genetic engineering does your husband do? And she says, well, I'm just a woman. I don't understand such things. That comment did not go over well with Mavis. Leno said, my wife was real involved with women's issues. My wife's like making growling noises. She's just yelling at the TV. She's still got the fire. It made me laugh. Just screaming at McGarrett, but it made me laugh. Jay says even when he travels for work, he makes sure he gets home that night. I come home every day. I went to Puerto Rico for the day and then the plane waited and I came right back. That's what I do. I try to be home every night. So that's kind of what I do. You can see how he is clearly the worst person who ever lived, according to the media. Ricky Gervais is going to play a fat, lazy, rude, opinionated creature with fangs who's not as smart or brave as he thinks he is. That's right. Ricky Gervais will star in the Netflix adult animated comedy series Alley Cats. Ricky called his role as a fat, lazy, opinionated creature with fangs who's not as brave as he thinks he is quite a stretch. Alley Cats is a slacker sitcom that follows the trials and tribulations of a group of feral British cats who seek companionship while ruminating about the struggles of everyday life. GQ did a big profile of Stavros Halkias. They met up at a Greek restaurant in Astoria. Stavros had a big suitcase with him. He was asked if he was headed to the airport, and he says no. He's headed to the photo shoot for this GQ story, and he says, when you're a bigger guy, it turns out they make you bring your own clothes. The topic of this profile, what does being a man mean to you? Stavros Halkias said, I mean, being a man in particular, I don't think about it that much. I think that's one of the advantages of being a white guy. You're the default in society. Unfortunately, you don't ever consider your identity because everything is shaped towards your identity from the time you're younger. I think that's also why people are mad about some of that being under scrutiny. There's definitely elements of being a man that I think are cool. I still like hanging out with the fellas. I do love the team atmosphere. I grew up playing sports. I had nothing but brothers. My dad was a contractor. I spent summers going to work with him, going to Greek coffee shops where it's just a bunch of dudes riling each other up, just gambling illegally, looking at porno together. You know what I mean? That's fun to me. He then talked about being in shape. He said, getting jacked is cool. I'm trying to get jacked. I'll probably be one of those guys on steroids in his 50s. That stuff's awesome. Being a provider, in theory, that's cool. The thing I'm really proud of is that I grew up poor. I've been successful. I'm proud that I can take care of my family. These traditional things, they're not bad. What's bad is making it a zero-sum. In my head, I don't see them being at odds, masculinity and progress. You're not stripping anything from men by asking them to do some of that. You're not stripping anything from men by using some of those advantages to help other people. The rhetoric around this is bizarre because a lot of guys pretend we're going to go back to a hunter-gatherer lifestyle. You don't have to be that masculine if you don't want to be masculine. Like I said, I like the camaraderie of it. I like taking care of my family. I have that competitiveness. I want to do the best I can. I've had to bounce this one. There's been so much news, but I do want to salute Marc Maron. He will be going on ABC's Celebrity Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. He announced if he wins, his prize money will be donated to the Carolina Tiger Rescue in Pittsburgh. That Animal Sanctuary on Instagram wrote, "We are incredibly grateful that Marc has chosen Carolina Tiger Rescue as his charity of choice for the episode. His generous support will make a real impact for the tigers, big cats, and other rescues in our care. Maron will be on the show September 25th, and Maron will be taking on Sarah Silverman. Carolina Tiger Rescue is a nonprofit organization that cares for animals from various sources, such as wild animals that were previously pets or housed in less reputable sanctuaries. 4 of the big cats from Tiger King were given to Carolina Tiger Rescue." Celebrity Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, hosted by Jimmy Kimmel, September 25th, 8 Eastern on ABC. Wanda Sykes said when her kids were in middle school, they said, "Hey, can you not talk about us? Because our friends, their parents let them see things that you do and they joke on us." Wanda said, "Well, their parents shouldn't let them watch things." But the kids were like, "Well, we really wish you wouldn't." And Wanda said, "I'm like, well, you want a car, right? Mama's got to buy that car." We had a nice reunion at the Emmys the other night. Ray Romano and Brad Garrett, who played brothers on Everybody Loves Raymond, they were back together on stage. Ray said, "For Brad and I, it's an honor to present the Best Comedy Series. We were lucky enough to be on a show that won this award 20 years ago this month." It's a long time ago. Boy, that went quick. Brad Garrett with some good advice. He was joking, but this is true. Brad said, "I thought I would have been back here sooner in some capacity. I thought I would have worked more. Don't think if you win tonight, your life is going to change. Johnny Mac's advice, never leave a hit show. Keep going. If it's working, keep doing it." Brad Garrett asked if someday he will make the Emmys in Memoriam segment. Ray Romano said, "If it's a slow year, no doubt, no question." That's really funny. If you're hoping for a reboot, forget it. Earlier in the year, there was a 30-year celebration of Everybody Loves Raymond. And Ray said, "Nope, there won't be a reboot. The obvious answer is Peter Boyle and Doris Roberts and one of the kids. They're no longer with us. We're all heartbroken. They're a big part of the show." Patricia Heaton agreed, saying to try to do it again without the cast members that we've lost would be a disservice to the show. Local news, paying more attention to the Jerry Seinfeld story from last week. The News Observer wrote, "Seinfeld, who studied communication and theater at Queens College, has family ties to Duke. He and his wife Jessica are the parents of 3 Blue Devils. The couple last year co-chaired the Duke Parents Committee and have been spotted around Durham during move-ins at local restaurants and courtside at men's basketball games. As I keep saying, we're not going to solve Palestine on this program, but I'm seeing more and more stories about it. We will see." Jimmy Fallon said he'd like to host The Tonight Show until people stop caring and says there's no plan for an exit. "I'll just keep my head down, work hard, and try to make people happy." He is signed through 2028. He said of Colbert, "It's weird the landscape's going to change come May. I just know that I'm going to miss him, and I'm going to miss playing with him in that class. It just keeps getting smaller." Adweek reports that Fallon's advertiser-coveted family-friendly brand commands up to 25% higher ad rates than other shows. "Jimmy understands the game," says Johnny Mac, and I will keep saying that. Fallon says he's open to experimenting with other ways to capture eyeballs. Jimmy said, "There's nothing that says we can't do the show live. I'd do it. Booking it would be tougher, but we could at least do a special week or something." The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon has done live shows before. Late Nighter reminds us, one time after the Super Bowl in 2015 and again in 2018. And then in 2019, Fallon was live after the Democratic presidential primary debates and did it again for a week in September of 2019. Steve Allen started the show as a live show. It continued to be live into Jack Parr's tenure. Veer Das has announced a 2-hour-long comedy special entirely about India. He went on Twitter and said, "Hey folks, so 5 years ago I began to write a show about India. It's something I dreamed of writing for like a decade, a show that attempted to capture our existence with relentless spread and pace." Then he got involved with that controversy, explaining, "Then a video about India on my YouTube made sure there was no chance in hell I could talk about the country or even tour it properly. Truthfully, controversy is a mix of risk, hate, attention currency, but also basic guilt. I felt I had lost the right to do an exploration of India, so I did global work and focused really hard on it. This idea kept coming back. 6 months ago, I scrapped the old jokes and wrote the show I've dreamt about for a decade. It's finally complete. It's close to 2 hours of new comedy. It's entirely about India. Can't wait to share it with you. No date yet." Out today, Sarah Millican's Home Bird. You can catch the premiere on Comedy Export's YouTube channel at 9 a.m. Central Time, 3 p.m. British Time. Speaking of British people, Michael Palin has a new show out in the UK this week. He told a story about being held at gunpoint while filming his latest travel show in Venezuela. He told The Mirror he and his crew were stopped by police while in Venezuela, but it turned into something bigger with the National Guard and men with rifles, bulletproof, and helmets showing up. Palin said it was the kind of thing you'd expect to encounter if an embassy was being bombed. They went to the headquarters of the National Intelligence Agency. Agents there Googled Michael Palin and started watching old clips, including an interview of him talking about the life of Brian. He told The Independent they watched it and decided I wasn't very funny. Eventually, they got onto Monty Python clips and they watched the fish-slapping dance, which is always a good thing to show people. Nearly everyone in the world from North Korea to Venezuela cracks up when they see that, and so they let him go. Michael Palin in Venezuela, airing on TV in the UK this week. And that is your comedy news for today. If you'd like to purr without commercial interruption, you're on Apple Podcasts, click the banner. It says uninterrupted listening, $5 a month. All this goes away. First month's a free trial. See you tomorrow.